Hi, good morning. Welcome to the Business Spotlight series. I'm with Jamie Winspear from Oak by Design. How you doing, Jamie?
Very well, thank you very much. Looking forward to being interrogated.
Interrogated, strong use of language there. I'm not sure that obviously my reputation might have preceded me, but looking forward to it too. So if we can kick things off and yeah, just to understand a little bit more about who you are, Jamie, what you do, where you work, and a bit more about Oak by Design, how long it's been going and how long you've been there.
So, Oak by Design's company just outside in between York and Harrogate and Tockwith. Been going 26, 27 years now. I've been here 14 years now, managing director. We do grand design oak structures, oak
Mhm.
sunrooms, orangeries, oak porches, atriums, all everything specialising in oak. We have 19 staff. We supply and fit locally within an hour's radius of Yorkshire, Harrogate area, and we supply all over, supply only all over the UK. Um,
Brilliant.
yeah, nice company.
And any kind of famous structures that you've worked on or landmarks around the county that people may know from across Yorkshire?
So my claim to fame, really, just before I went into the oak world, was Allerton Castle, which is just in Knaresborough, and that
Mhm.
burnt down. Big fire, roof
Yeah,
all the way down. I rebuilt that, which was a nice project. Uh,
awesome.
yeah, that was good. We've done work for nice. Recently, just done some work for Dame Laura Kenny and Sir Jason Kenny, the gold medalist
Yeah,
cyclist. So we're going to be doing a charity event in September. They're coming up to Rudding Park to do a bit of a promotion for Manor House to raise some money for their project they're trying to build. So yeah, there's a few famous people we've worked for, but they're the only two that'll let us tell them.
yeah, you got permission.
Exactly.
That's brilliant. So, how did you get into it then, Jamie? You say you've been there about 13 years or so. What were you doing before, and what transitioned you into being the MD?
So I was an apprentice joiner as boy. I think back in the I'm 47 now. So coming around that time, father gave me the options of the world, which was to be a joiner, bricklayer, plasterer, electrician, or plumber, and that was as far as it went for exposure to the world. So I chose joinery, and fortunately, I was good at joinery, won many local awards, grew with a small company. It was around about 10 employees when I started. Over the 10, 12 years there, ended up being 45, 50 employees. I fortunately grew with the company from shop joiner, site manager, projects manager. But construction, I know this is kind of going to get published, it's a tough industry. It's a quite a drama
Yeah,
market. There's some fantastic companies out there, and there's also some very average and below average. So it's
I'm
very
sure.
competitive. Um, Worked then further on to a big Leeds company. So I worked on some big skyscraping buildings. As I say, that we did Allerton Castle. So I built a vast knowledge in construction, but I was getting 300 emails a day and having to firefight this, and so
Yeah,
it wasn't really a lifestyle at all. It was just work with no time to enjoy personally. Um,
yeah, yeah.
Looked at this company. They were after a joiner just to make some trusses, and I'd just come to the end of a big multi-million-pound project that I was site manager for, and I just wondered if I was still able to do joinery. So I said I'd
Yeah.
these joiners, these trusses. Enjoyed making the oak trusses as a bit of fun, and then looked at the structure of the company and felt I had a lot to give. So
Yeah.
13 years ago, I offered to come in the company and help grow it, and we did. And then I ended up buying the company, and here we are. So that's
Excellent.
kind of my story in a leg.
That's a nice short summary there. So I love the way you kind of wanted to go back to doing, being on the tools and doing something that I guess that you love.
Mm.
But then at the same time, taking your business skills to help the company to grow.
Yeah, and also with specializing in oak, it's a quality product. It's high end. It
Yeah.
suits lots of stunning buildings, and so we're no longer part of a massive competitive market, we're allowed to be able to take our time a little bit more, and create a real good product with a good service. I think we've got 75-star reviews, which we're proud of. We've got one star, which won't go into, but my friends pick on me for that one, and it wasn't their fault. Just saying.
Well, I've heard if you get 1-star review and you're mostly 5, it might bring it down to like 4 point something, which is actually more trustworthy than having all 5 stars.
Yes, so I'd like to thank the person for giving me that 1 star.
That's it. The win.
Exactly. Yeah. So just being in more of a higher end niche market,
Yeah,
more enjoyable. That the staff enjoy it, I think, and the end result, people look onto the website and there's plenty to look at. It does put a smile on your face.
And so what's that journey been like then for you over the last 13 years? You know, and speaking to many business owners through this interview series, the highs and lows of running a business and going through the different periods that life brings, you know, the external environment, COVID, Brexit, international wars. How's it been for you?
Effortless. Not one stress day. Posted through.
I'm going to interrogate you now. The truth.
It's hard. Every day is hard. It's I think what I enjoy before I go into that time is the hard, but then the rewards, not always financially. But when you see the products all over the UK, especially in Yorkshire, it's fantastic. But there's, you know, keeping good staff. Most of the employees have been here 7 years onwards. And a small joinery company near us, Dalton Joinery, they were called. The chap had been there forever and decided he wanted to retire. Nobody wanted to take over. So I ended up, fortunately, I've known the guys that work for him since I was 16. And we then took them and brought them to the company. And then the old school, good apprenticeship, 7 year, everything that was traditions of when I was by doing things right. So then we brought 3 apprentices in, and they've all finished their time now and are now moving on to the joinery. So we've got a good infrastructure. But that before they came, it was hard because I had to do quite a lot of the work because the skill set wasn't there. I've got high standards. The clients definitely have got high standards because they're paying for a premium product. So once they came on board, it really helped the company to organically grow. And now the site team, there's Bill and Ben. So the clients like that through the flower pot men, and so and they can go. The clients like them. They always end up with lemon drizzle cakes and coffees all day, and they just do a fantastic job. So with that has helped us move forward. But as you say, then you had Brexit, so we had to, all our outcomes from France. So it was, how will that work? Is there going to be a massive hike in material costs, export, import costs? So that was quite a stress. Then COVID hit, and we was thinking we might have to come away from oak a little bit and go more into a standard joinery company, which I didn't want to do at all because I felt that would break our reputation. But actually, people wanted garden rooms and they wanted to make the houses.
Yeah, there's a lot of investment in houses.
Exactly. So we got through COVID, and we tried our best to cheer everybody up. We had a lot of logs that we put in ton bags for the offcuts for fire, for the local fire. So we went and dropped them off to try and cheer people up and make sure everybody was as happy as can be. So it ended up being a bit more of a community time of our life within the company. And then as COVID left, we was then looking at doing more charity things. So we work with Henshaws as much as we can on golf charity days and host days. St Leonard's Hospice, I've cycled the coast to coast, God knows how many times, and raised money for that. I think I've said the Martin House, doing a huge development in Harrogate, need a lot of money. So we've got Dame Laura Kenny and Sir Jason Kenny coming over, as I said, to raise money for them. So, and we, well, in the back we was talking, we just got Harrogate Town Football Club.
Yeah.
And they're they're a different breed of a football club. They're all about community. They're all about working with schools in the community. They're all working to make sure that the families enjoy the day. The football, they obviously want to win and do the best, but it's just as important to make sure everybody there is involved, and so we sponsor the back of the shirts for the Harrogate Football Club, which then we feel is a bit more give back. It's lovely to see the little kids running around with Up by Design on the back of the shirts. It's a nice feeling. So yeah, the highs and lows are just trying to obviously keep the company profitable.
Yeah.
Growing with hard times, even now there's so much uncertainty in the country, in the world. So just market the best we can. Hopefully the way we work in the community, we're well thought of, so people speak highly of us, which spread the word. So all of that, and then just maintain the staff and organically grow.
And present an effortless front to it all. And underneath, you're doing the right work to keep it going. But that's brilliant. I mean, it sounds, in terms of just listening to you there, about, you say the secret, not necessarily the secret, the kind of the ethos of just understanding challenges as opportunities to grow. And it will be, as you say, hard to kind of get through them, but on the other side of it, you'll get your rewards. And it sounds like you're very involved in the community and building a team and things like that. So what are the challenges and opportunities ahead that you can foresee, and how do you think you're going to realize them, get over them at the moment?
So the challenges we have at the moment is, you look in our industry of the oak companies, you'll see 5 or 6 other companies, and they've just got real nice images. But because I see the smaller details, I know that there's errors in. I'm not saying we're perfect, but I back us that we're a far better company. Bold statement. But it's hard to kind of get that across and to be unique. We've just recently done a project for a lady whose lovely home had a link to oak structure on the side, and email came in saying from a PA saying we've had a bit of a disaster, we need this put in right, and we normally stay away from that because the client at that point is just tired, exhausted of the building industry, and you try and go in to help them, and you end up getting a beating as well. I'm always hesitant, but I always also want to help, and they were local. So I spoke to the lady and said, we'll come out and we'll just see what we can do. And the company had done everything almost right. It just fell short. And by the looks of it, because I looked at the website and the previous work, and that looked pretty good. So sometimes you have a company that's just overstretched, they end up putting some subcontractors in, and it goes a bit wrong. So we had to rip it all out, redo it, and now we've got another 5-star review from us saying how fantastic we are, which is good. But we will grow slowly and methodically. We've just taken on another employee, but he'll stay in the workshop now for 2 to 3 years until he knows everything inside out. We won't start doing 5 or 6 orangeries and the skill set and the craftsmanship in the UK. It's just not there yet. The apprentice schemes need to be pushed more. Kids need to start doing real apprenticeships, and we need to grow that within the UK. That's one of our struggles, is the skill sets. People are just not doing the full apprenticeship and getting good training, and there's a shortage, and we'll see that without a doubt with all the developments we're trying to do with new houses and all that kind of stuff.
There's a couple of things there. Firstly, in terms of that training, do you do it in-house then? And has that been something that you've developed off the back of your experience?
Yeah, so they still go to college day release, because it's important to get the qualifications. But I was brought up on stepping stones. I'm a big believer in stepping stones in the right direction. And the first one, so when they come in as apprentice, the first job is to be in charge of the canteen. The canteen has to be immaculate, because that's where everybody goes to eat. And if The canteen's immaculate, the workshop's an immaculate behaviour. It breeds for that. And so I sit down with them and explain to them that you may feel that this is a demeaning job or a job not worthy for anybody. But I said, you have to manage that work, that canteen. When the guys come in and they don't clean the cups, you can either clean them every time or you can learn how to manage that and say, please, guys, I've washed your cup 17 times now. Can you please keep it tidy and help? It teaches them to interact and grow, because obviously the young kids.
Yeah.
But also, which they like, it means that when I go into the canteen and it's immaculate, I know that they've improved and they understand their role. And then they move on to the next stage. And there'll be another area in the workshop that they're in charge of. So everybody in the workshop has areas that they run.
Yeah.
And then I can go in the workshop, see the areas that are perfect, see the areas that need some work, and I can chat to that person and say, what's going on? Do you need a bit of help with that? So the joinery in itself, you'll learn, you'll pick that up. It's the ethos and being methodical and being proud of your station, and that breeds into being a good person and a good tradesman.
Company culture.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's brilliant.
I mean, my office is an absolute.
Yeah, close that. Don't let anyone in. Yeah, don't look in here. But in terms of biggest lessons, then, and you mentioned stepping stones. What was coming across was that kind of methodical approach, and also not growing too fast to keep surface levels, and again maintaining a culture of doing things the right way. Where did you learn that, and is that one of your biggest lessons, or is there anything else so far in business that you could share?
Yeah, there's a few lessons. There was an old chap, Barry Hillaby, who was my mentor when I was an apprentice joiner. Still in touch now, he's about 96 or something. He was a miserable there, but he always knew when to kick you up the backside and give you a cuddle. And you'd make in joinery when you're making windows with a Georgian little glazing bars. If for a full house, you've got 1,000 components. And if you just pile that all in one part, you never know where you are if you've got the right one. So he taught me to put that pile and label it and always have everything in order. He said, and that'll help you to know where you are. He also played a prank on me. So I made 26 big sliding windows. They were huge. And he just asked me, because as an apprentice, you do the preservative and the priming before it goes into the spray room. And he just asked me how long it'd take me to paint the window individually. I said, I'm not sure. He says, time is a bit of fun. So he timed me with a stopwatch, and I did it in about 6 minutes 75. So he said 6 minutes 75 times 36 windows, you'll be done by 2 o'clock next day. So he used to set you up and to motivate you.
Games out of things.
Yes. So that was a great way of moving forward. There was then a chap, I'm sure I won't mind me naming him, called Chris Hildreth. He was a big project with big skyscrapers and all kinds of stuff, massive projects. And I worked at the side of him for a couple of years. And he knew everybody from Mary in the local cafe to the multimillionaire investor to the joiner. He knew everybody. And he made it a point of the round table scenario where everybody's bringing something to the project, and you just have everybody as an equal, and that stuck with me forever. So I just like to be friends with everybody, regardless of what they do, where they are.
Taking interest.
Yeah, and it's amazing how many people you then have contacts where you go to Mary and you've forgot that you're having a big do the next day, and when you sort out with sandwiches and cakes, short notice, like, oh bloody hell, Jamie, well, go on then, I'll sort that out for you. and it's all of that, and it's working together. Yeah,
love that. There's a lot of in my mind, like football as a manager. We're using kind of football comparisons where someone will come in as an apprentice and clean the boots and take part, but then also, a good manager of a football club will be including people in the canteen and all the staff that kind of make the difference to help the players play on the pitch at the end of the day, because it's a team effort. So I just thought I'd share that as what was going around my head as a kind of comparison, especially with the football shirt in the background there. So some really good shares in there. Thank you for those. if someone came to you and was just starting out as an apprentice, 16, 18 in this industry, what's the best piece of advice you can give them?
So I do this with all my employees, which I don't start with the apprenticeship. I ask them what their lifestyle, they see their lifestyle to be, and we'll start when I always start at whatever age I'm at. So I'll say, I'm 47 now.
Yeah.
Picture yourself as old as me. Where do you see yourself? And then we bring it back every 5 years. So that maps it out. And I always say to them, because like I was forced into the construction industry. I was brought up in a working men's club. Website, internet weren't really a thing. And the Motorola phone was just come out. So going to see the world wasn't really on the radar. So
Yeah, yeah.
I had the 5 options and I chose joinery. And with the children, like the young boys, if you like, who come for their apprenticeship or an interview, I like to get to know what they want to do. So one of the chaps who's been here for a while, he wants to do his own developments. Well, we do a little bit of developing. So let's do the apprenticeship for a while, learn your skill, move a bit forward, see where you are, and then he could then go on and do developments with us, or he could go off.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he wants to learn the joinery, but he also wants to go off. And then you have another person who actually really just all he wants to do is go see the world. Well, that's not going to help with an apprenticeship.
Yeah, yeah.
Still, so I just map them out and see where they are. So my advice to anybody who comes always is let's have a chat at where you want your life to go, and we'll do our best to be able to facilitate that. And if we can't, then let's
Yeah.
not start now in the wrong direction and help you in the right. So I've sent 2 or 3 young lads. One's coming in on Friday. He wants to be a financial advisor. I have friends in that sector, so I'll have
Yeah.
it. And if he comes across as a decent enough guy with it
Mhm.
about him, I'll then introduce him to a friend, and hopefully he'll get a placement there. So yeah.
Brilliant. Always, again, that kind of something that resonates here with action coaches: start with the end in mind and then working back. But that's very useful kind of advice. Something, yeah, wish someone might have told me at the age of 16.
Yeah,
Started earlier.
yeah. Yeah, if I knew, like anybody says, you kind of know now what if you knew it then, you
Yeah,
have a definitely different direction of life.
but
Yeah.
that's the beauty of hindsight. So, what inspires you to do what you do, Jamie? Just before we wrap up, what do you think it is that gets you
Yeah.
out of bed?
So anybody who knows me, who sees this, knows I've got a bit of an ego. So I just want the company to be known to be being the best in
Yeah,
everything, quality, in service, and build a company. And then within the company, we have 2 or 3 who are coming through the ranks. I'd like to be in 10, 15, 20 years or whatever it is, where I'm just the old guy coming in interfering, and the other ones have taken shares of the business and
yeah,
they're moving it forward. So as I retire and put myself in an old people's home, I know I've left something
yeah.
for others that have deserved it.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Love that.
and
Good
enjoy
stuff.
life in between.
Yeah, do a bit of cycling, coast to coast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, wrapping it up then, in terms of any latest news about what you're up to, we've mentioned quite a few things, or even if it's a case of people want to find out more about what you do and share on your website to go and have a look at those pictures of quality,
Yeah.
get in touch. Feel free to share that now.
Yeah, well, the oak porches that are a lovely product, so we're marketing them as much as we can. We're working hard on a new website, just a slight uplift, but to push our rankings through. A little thing that's quite exciting. Quite a few of my friends have a car collection and nowhere to put them, so we're just doing some visuals for it's a back garden man cave, so they can put the sports cars in with a F1
Nice.
TV room and a
Yeah.
wine and brandy room. So we're just doing a concept for that. So any oak companies out, don't copy that. It's my pitch.
Brilliant. And we'll put the link in the description underneath the videos when we share it for you. Jamie, been really, really good talking with you. Thanks for sharing all that you have and the experience. Some real good snippets and things that we can share out there. And I wish you all the best for the future of the business, and for you slipping off into retirement and the team taking over for you.
I appreciate the opportunity to speak, so it's been good fun. Thank you very much.